Hi guys, it's Tony here, and for today's video I'm going to be making vanilla biscuits. So I love baking. I did cooking all through high school, and yeah, I just thought why everyone's in self-isolation, can't go out anywhere, maybe they could do some baking. It might give them something else to do. I'll put the recipe down below as well. But this is the recipe here that I'm going to be making. It is out of an Edmonds cookbook, and it does say that you need to have Edmonds flour or anything like that, but any flour is fine, any brand. You can use plain flour if you want as well. It says that you need standard grade flour, which is just your average plain flour. You can use high grade flour if you want as well, it doesn't really matter. As you can probably hear, the oven is going in the background. I've just made a video where I made brownies and they're still in the oven. I will link that video down below if you guys want to check that out, and I've also left the recipe for that in the bio of that video. So yeah, let's get started. So these are the ingredients that we are going to need for the vanilla biscuits. It also says that you need sultanas, but I'm going to take that as it's optional, so I'm not going to bother putting that in, and I guess I'm going to find out if it's going to work out or not. But yeah, the first thing that you have to do is cream the butter and sugar together, which would be really easy if you have like an electric beater or anything like that. I don't, so I'm just going to have to do that by hand, so that's going to take a bit longer. But other than that, yeah. So I've cut up the butter into roughly even sized pieces, and I'm just going to chuck that into my bowl. And then I'm just going to chuck that in the microwave for a little bit just to melt it. And then while I wait for that, I'm just going to start doing the sugar. So I'm just going to put in 175 grams of sugar. Oh, that was too much. Yeah. So 175 grams of sugar, and now I'm just going to put that in with the butter. So when you cream the butter and sugar together, you don't want the butter to be melted. You just want it to be soft so you can actually like put your spoon through it. And then with that, I'm just going to pour the sugar in, and then I'm going to mix it until it goes kind of like a whitey kind of color. As I said, this does work a lot better if you do have an electric beater. But unfortunately I don't, and with quarantine and everything, there's not likely a chance of getting one. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, I didn't really do it too well, but I'm just going to leave it like that. It's all just going into a huge ball whenever I do it, whenever I mix it together. But yeah, it's a lot easier if you do have an electric beater. Now I'm going to put the vanilla essence in and an egg in. Just as a few drops, okay. It's going to be interesting. It's not really one of those ones that has one of those dropping things. But the main thing is the vanilla, right? Okay, that should be enough. I keep looking at the wrong recipe and think I'm doing it all wrong. Now I'm going to add the egg in. Ooh, I just put half the eggshell in. Okay, I hope that was all the eggshell that I put in, otherwise it's going to be crunchy bits, which we do not want. Okay, I'm just going to mix that together. Doesn't look very nice. It's kind of going lumpy. So I'm just going to continue to mix that until it all mixes in together. I don't think this is going to work out because I didn't cream the butter properly, but I guess we're going to find out. So it is now looking like this, which I think is how it's supposed to look, I hope anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to measure out all the dry ingredients. So we need, oh, I don't see why I can just put a cup or something like that. Okay, so we need 225 grams of flour. Oh, a little bit too much as well. There we go. So I got 225 grams of flour, and then I'm also going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And I cannot open these. Just Mocha getting a biscuit out of her bowl and going outside. Okay. So I got 1 teaspoon of that. And then I just chuck that all in to the big bowl. Right, I sifted all in. Just chuck it all in. Now I'm just going to mix all that in together. In the recipe it doesn't even state when you're supposed to put the sultanas in, so maybe they classify that as a dry ingredient. I don't know. If you're feeling extremely creative, you can also chuck food colouring in here as well to make them a different colour if you wanted to. Just a couple of drops. So now that that that's all mixed in, it looks like this. It kind of still looks like butter, but hopefully it tastes good. So yeah, I'm going to get a tray and start rolling some into balls and putting them on the tray. Okay, so it doesn't really specify how big to make, how much mixture to put into a ball, but usually they say a teaspoon. So that's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to put it in, get a teaspoonful of mixture and roll that into a ball and see how it goes. Maybe 2 teaspoons. But yeah. So it's kind of like 2 teaspoons or a teaspoon and a half. Just going to pop that on the tray. And yeah. They don't all have to be the same size either. They will cook better if they do, just because then they'll all be the same size and cook evenly. The recipe doesn't say how much they make either, so I guess we're gonna find out. I guess it depends on how big the balls are that you put down. So and then also when you put the balls on the tray, you need to make sure that they're far enough apart, because you are going to be squishing them down at the end with a fork. So I have now finished putting them onto balls, and now I am going to grab my fork, put it into some flour, and then go around and squish them all. You just put your fork into flour just so it like doesn't stick to the mixture, since the mixture is very buttery. So what I'm going to do is I might just tip a bit into the measuring cup I was using. Just a tiny bit, you don't really need too much. No, watch out. You can't be that close, you can reach on the bench. And then I'm just going to dip my fork into it. How's that going to work? Like, it doesn't even hold the flour onto it. But, okay. And then we are just going to squish them down. And when you squish them down, you want to make sure that you don't like completely flatten them, but you want to like press them all down about the same amount, just so that they will all cook properly and cook at the same time. Alright, and now they just look like this. Mocha, can you please not? I know. So it ended up making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 22. Okay, so now that those are all done, now that those are done, I'm going to put them in the oven, and it says that they need to be in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Is it 15, 20? Yes, in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm just going to put them in now. Okay, so I'll just wait for them to cook, and then I will see you guys when they come out of the oven. So I've just taken the biscuits out of the oven. They're still like a little bit soft. Oh no, actually I think they've calmed down a bit. But yeah, they're golden brown, so they're ready. And yeah. Okay, so I think you definitely do need to grease the tray or use baking paper, because these are like, well, those are the few I actually took off. But these are like literally stuck to the tray. And that's the result, they're all just crumbling. So if you do make these, definitely grease the tray or use baking paper. And yeah, you might find it a lot easier to try and get them off the tray. So you can kind of see that there are some that are still whole, like completely together, and others that are like kind of destroyed or like in half. But the majority of them look okay, in my opinion, anyway. So the biscuits kind of turned out to be a bit of a fail, as you saw. But yeah, definitely use baking paper or grease the tray first. But yes, half of them are kind of good, the other half aren't. Whether it's because I didn't cream the butter and sugar together properly or because I just didn't grease the tray. But yeah. So for when you guys do it, make sure that you do use baking paper or something like that. Because mine stuck to the tray, and you could kind of see that in the thumbnail as well, how I could literally lift the tray up and they would not fall off. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.